So this is video number 15 in a row on the journey to 10,000 subscribers. I'm gonna post every single day until that happens, so subscribe. This was gonna be video number 10, shout out to 1010 Discs, but I had broken my camera. We obviously got that fixed though, so we're good. So the mission today is to see what is the next best zone. So I hit at 1010 Discs, they gave me the full hookup. By the way, Turner5 at checkout, nice little promo code, doesn't really save you much money, but it does make me look good. So the first disc we have in here, ooh, last time they sent me a hat, now I got a blue towel. You can tell they are fans of the channel. Thank you for that. I did not ask for that, by the way. Oh, they sent me some Smarties too. Yo! So the first disc that we have is the zone. I didn't even have a zone, so they had to send me one of those first. So we have the zone. Next up we have the Artemis, which is the Lone Star version of a zone, 4403. I was told that this is the next closest thing to a zone. I don't throw much Lone Star, but they're building up an army over there and they've been in my comment section telling me to throw this disc. So next up we have the Entropy 4303. I'm letting you know right now, so far all these have been feeling the same exact way. Not the coolest of color, but it was free and I'm not complaining. And then finally we have the Champion Toro 42+1. This is a disc that a lot of people have been wanting to get compared to the zone. And then my personal favorite, you already know, we're gonna be comparing the A2 to this. I'm letting you know right now, this A2 runs circles around these other discs. So I may be a little biased, but I say we jump right into it. First hole of the day, 320 feet out behind the clump of trees. I don't know if I can get it there, but that's not really the point of this hole. We're just trying to open up, see what kind of stability we're working with. We're starting off with the 2022 Tour Series zone. Ooh. Pretty nice. Definitely not 320 feet. Following that up with the Calvin Heimberg Champion Toro. This thing is a beefcake. You know it's beefy when they throw in a positive number where the usual negative number is going to be. 4213, in case I confused anybody. They're both bored flat. I'd say the it's a little bit more roundness going on here on the Toro compared to the zone, but see how she flies. Oh! I'd say a little bit more overstable. I did not get the snap on that like the first one, but still pretty overstable. Following that up with the Entropy 4303. This thing is board flat. Holy cow. Same like thin rim vibe going on here. Gosh, this thing is freaking flat. I've never actually thrown an Entropy before. Dude, that's more overstable than the zone and the Toro. That thing skipped. Alrighty, now we have the Artemis. I don't know how to say this one. Artemis. We have this one. It's an Alpha Plastic 4403. This guy has some dome to him. Not sure if you guys can hear that or not, but color's pretty cool. Ooh, not as overstable. I'd definitely say more of the, that's probably the least stable compared to everything else. And of course, we're gonna end that with the GOAT 750 A2. Look at that bad boy. Overstability and glide mixed into one. Sorry, I'm done being biased. So the Entropy and Toro were definitely overstable. They went about 250 feet, and then about 30 feet farther, we had the A2, the Zone, and the Artemis. And by the way, I know there's plenty of other zone-like discs. I just couldn't ask 1010 for everything. So I just picked out what people mostly recommended. If you guys have some other recommendations, I could also do a part 2. So blow that comment section up. Now for some forehands, 265 feet, again, behind a tree. They love doing that out here. Big forehand out wide, hitting the gap with the zone. Little flip up, nice little finish. Sweet. I know people hate the little riding on that inside rim of Discraft discs, but I love it. Following that up with the A2. Oh, a little bit lower. And a branch hit, but I think we're like circle 1. I'm just gonna call it the Artemis. I'm done making fun of it. Now for the Artemis. Interesting. I was wondering about that. My backhand, it felt like it kind of flipped up, so I was like, ooh, that forehand, it might turn over. That could have been me though. I could have easily flipped over my wrist. We still have plenty of holes though. Now for the Toro, this thing definitely will not flip. It probably won't even flip to flat. Kinda. That thing does not like to glide. Now for the Entropy, I think this might be the most overstable of all of these. I yanked it and it didn't even try to go flat. That's a hard gap to hit 5 times in a row, so bear with me. I mean, look how tight that gap is. This guy was the farthest away, but I didn't throw it the best. I still think it's pretty flippy and it's not gonna handle the torque, but I'll admit it wasn't my best throw. I try to redeem myself. So there's the Entropy and the Toro. We have the A2 right here next to my box, the Zone, and then there's the basket. So pretty close. So we've had our flat to hyzer release shots, we've had our forehand shots. Now we're gonna punch this out on a little bit of Anhyzer just to see how quickly they fight out of it. It's my fun way of comparing them. 280 feet, basket again, right behind that clump of trees, starting us off with the zone. It actually looks pretty good. Ooh, that was really close. Following that up with the Artemis. That one went out of bounds. Following that up with the Toro. Holy cow, dude. There's no putting that thing on Anhyzer. Same with this. These things are just a different level of beef. I mean, look at that. Ending this with the A2. Took a while, but it's fighting out. Barely stayed in bounds. So the Toro's about circle's edge, then we're parked with the Entropy and the Zone. A little bit farther behind us, we have the A2, and then the Demetrius is somewhere out OB. All right, so I feel like I'm getting a pretty good understanding of how these fly. The Toro and the Entropy are obviously more overstable, and that's not a bad thing. I actually like my approach discs being very overstable. And then the A2, the Artemis, and the Zone are all flying pretty similar in stability. Obviously, the Artemis is a little less stable. I'm getting more distance out of it as well because of that. But now we let the battle begin. 280 feet through the gap on an elevated basket. Worst score gets eliminated, and then we figure out what the next best zone is. Starting off with the Zone. A good little shot. Circle's edge probably. Watch it get eliminated first. All right, we follow that up with the A2. This is the one that I'm banking on winning. I'm putting a house on this. Looks a lot better. Woo! Now for the Artemis, and this might actually have an advantage because it's going a little bit farther than all the rest of these. Ooh, better get down and sit. It did, it actually hit a stick. Now for these beefcakes, we'll start off with the Entropy, put this on a fat Anhyzer. That's probably right there with the Zone. And now for the Toro. Oh, good thing it's beefy, dude. Oh, I got away with that one. All right, so all these are in the circle, but they're like right at circle's edge, so. First one up is the Zone. Pressure is on. I thought that was gonna hit the band. All right, Zone has passed. Now we have the Entropy. It's probably a little bit closer, 25 feet maybe. Alrighty then. Right, so now we have the A2. Both of these are probably the closest, being right at 20 feet. And then the Artemis, a little bit farther, 25 maybe. Oh no, pressure's on for the Toro. It's not necessarily an elevated putt from here, but it is the last one, so pressure is on. He survived. 5 for 5 inside circle 1. All right, so these next few holes are gonna be forehands, this one being 230 feet straight down this hallway with the Zone. Oh, hit that tree. Wow, what a freaking break. Next up, we have the A2. Oh my gosh. I'm putting a house on this. That was such a horrible throw. Now for the Artemis. Dude, that thing is sucky for forehands. I'm sorry, but it's true. Next up, we have the Entropy. Saved by the tree again? What is happening, dude? And last but not least, the Toro. Buckets? What? And by the way, there are no ties. So if those other three get the birdie and the Artemis and the A2 get a par, CTP advances. So basically, I have to make this A2. Well, dang, dude. I thought the A2 was gonna do it. All right, so the A2 is eliminated, the Artemis, the Zone, and both the Toro and the Entropy advance. So the A2 was the first one immolated. I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is. 230 feet. I'm aiming at the back of that truck and then having it skip flare to the right, just behind the tree. The Zone is up first. Basically just how you draw it up. It might be a little long, probably 25 feet. This Entropy is a little overstable, so this might be perfect. Just like that. It's basically parked. Following that up with the Toro, should be the same exact line. And then last but not least, the Artemis. I'm gonna have to put this on a lot of hyzer because this is gonna try to flip up. Look, I mean, it still flipped. I mean, that was a bunch of hyzer and it still flipped up the turn, dude. Not a good shot with the Artemis. It's not over yet. We can still hit this deep circle 2-putt. Oh, all right, it's over for it. This isn't a bad disc by any means, but I want a very overstable approach disc, and with this being a 4403, I don't think this is the disc that I'd want. I know this isn't the disc I'd want. I don't want something flipping up, especially new, because once you beat this in, you know it's gonna get even more flippy. Like I said, not a bad disc, just not what I would want. So it is out, along with my A2. It did last longer than the A2, so the zone did go a little long, still inside the circle, probably 25 feet. And then the Toro a little bit closer, about a, I don't know, 18 footer. And then CTP of all of them ends up being the Entropy. And then there were 3 discs left, technically 2 because we're playing with the zone. Here we go, 220 feet, zone up first. Oh my, that might actually work. No, that was horrible. What the freak, dude? Open door for the Entropy and the Toro. Big skip. Okay, I'm not trying to play the skip shot, but for whatever reason, I keep playing the skip shot. Ending it with the Toro, let's see if we can keep it in the air. Wow, we kept it in the air. Those were some 3 pretty bad shots, I'm not gonna lie. A little embarrassed, but it's not over yet. We could still throw this in with the Toro. Nice 70 footer with the zone. Might as well try to throw it in. Now we get to our somewhat decent shot. 20 footer with the Entropy. Bro, let's get off of this hole. 2 discs left, the zone and the Entropy, which technically means the Entropy is the next best zone. But let's see if we can actually dethrone the zone. Shout out to MVP, by the way. Every single disc that I've been throwing of theirs, butter. I have not liked a single one of their discs yet. All right, 270 feet, but they're lying. It's more like 230, 240. Zone's up first. Oh, oh. Ugh. I swear that was close, dude. Who actually knows? That could have been 40 feet away. Entropy, all eyes on you, dude. Oh my gosh, he choked. He absolutely choked it. MVP sucks. Ah, psych. MVP's the GOAT. What was I kidding? I was just kidding. I'm gonna be honest with you though, I thought I was like 40 feet away, but on to the last and final hole. 280 feet, straight shot with a little bit of a headwind. Not much danger. If there's a tie, we're gonna get on a CTP. I'm hot. We'll flip up, get around that tree. It's like 20 feet maybe. Pressure's on, Entropy. If that's inside, we're parked. It's gonna be close. So we have your winner. The Entropy's like 6 feet closer than the zone. They're all great discs. Of course, the A2 is the best. It just didn't have it showing today, but everybody has their off days. I think out of all of these, I like the Entropy the most. I love how it's board flat, super overstable, but still has some distance to it. The Toro, again, also very flat, very overstable, just not as much glide. It wants to get to the ground very quick. The Artemis, I'm not a fan of. I like something very overstable, but this could be a great disc for people who like to hyzer flip some things or just want a farther flying approach disc. And then, yeah, and then a zone's a zone. Everybody know how that flies. I need to shower.